I'm gonna tell you about what is static and dynamic binding in Java. This is quite a small topic, but yet you should know it and you should know what it does mean. Okay, let's just start with what does a term mean binding. Let's just forget what is static or dynamic. That's a later thing. Let's just get on to thing like binding. Now, what is binding? Binding in layman language always means that you are tying something with something else, but in Java it is same as I just told you, buying something. Oh, okay. You are binding something, you are linking something with something else. So in Java it means that method declaration link with method definition means you are declaring method somewhere else and calling it somewhere else. Look at a simple example. You got class human, you got boy which extends human, a function walk which says boys walk. This function carries nothing to overlook it, but it says that the boy the walk function is in the boy class and the object is also of boy class. So compiler, it compiles it and binds the method walk to the class boy which has the function walk straight away in the compile time only. Means it doesn't need to, the compiler doesn't get confused. It is very easy for compiler to just bind the function this to this, function this to this in the same class. So it is very simple, and for that simplicity it is called static binding. And the next is dynamic binding, late binding. Late binding by means that it happens when you give it a runtime binding. Means the compiler doesn't link those stuff calling and defining in the compile time, but it just link them in the runtime. Okay, just look at this problem. You got walk function in the human section and boy extends human class, and you got walk function in boy class 2. So you got two walk function in both classes. You just make an object of human and new boy. So when you call my object walk, the compiler for one time may get confused that which function of walk to be called, but as you give the object of reference human and you are calling boy function of boy class, so it may compiler confuse. In this confusion, this is called runtime dynamic binding. But as you given the constructor of boy, it will call the my object walk function of class boy only. So this if there is a pinch of confusion for compiler, it is called a dynamic binding. And you can see the output also. The output is boy walks. So this is a small thing about static binding and dynamic binding. You can write it if you want, and this is for this now. This back.